On the Build Show today, top 5 dumbest building products. Let's get going to this one right here. Number 1 on my list. This one has bugged me for years. This is a cardboard sheathing, basically a paper-based sheathing product. Can you believe that? This is used all over the country. This has been in use probably for 20 or 30 years in America, and still today I'm in a brand new house in an unknown location. Look at that, cardboard sheathing. Here's a little sample of it right here. Prefer not to show you the manufacturer, no need to have them call me. But look at this. This is basically a cardboard sheathing, a paper-based sheathing that has some kind of a plasticky finish on the outside. But think how well that is going to last on this building. And this is also the waterproofing layer. Look at that. I can literally rip the sheathing, and that's what's doing the shear on this house. That's also what's keeping the water out of the house. How do you do anything for this? This is terrible. Look, it's also super susceptible to job site damage. Probably the mason or somebody poked this on the outside. We've got a big rip right here. The only thing the builder can do to waterproof it is use some spray foam around there. But look at this. I mean, this is the sheathing for the house, and this house is meant to last. I don't understand how our paper-based product is going to work. Okay, number 2 on my list. Pin-punched plastic house wraps. You know, these are sold, this particular one is sold under several different brand names. I'm sure it's third-party labeled, but you can tell by the kind of crosshatch label if you look up close on here. And if you hold it up to the sun or a bright light source, you can actually see pinpoint light sources out of there. It's basically a plastic wrap that they punch pin needles through there, and that's how they get the permeability. But check this out. This house wrap is totally not waterproof. Here's a little test you can do for any house wrap to see how well it does. And let alone we're adding, let's say we're adding some staples when we add it to the wall of a house. But let's check this out real quick. Quick demonstration. I put some water on the top of the house wrap. I put a paper towel underneath. We're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes and come back and see what it looks like. Okay, it's been like 4 minutes. Let's see how this house wrap did on a waterproofing test. Again, remember, there's no punctures in this. We didn't do anything to this. We didn't staple through it. And let's look at it. Here's my little bounty right there. Check that out. Look at that. Hold it up to the light. This is not a waterproof house wrap. We do not want this on our buildings because our sensitive building materials are going to get wet. This test was for 5 minutes, and this test is clearly showing this house wrap lets water through. You do not want a pin-based house wrap. Number 3 on my list, recessed tankless units. Now this one is set up for a brick or a stone facade on the outside, but look at this recessed unit right here. They had to cut it into the sheathing, and the tank is actually recessed back in here. Now, it's not the tankless unit itself, it's this recessed kit that I think is terrible, terrible product. And let me show you why. Let's walk around the inside and I'm gonna show you what's back there. Follow me. It's this right here that I don't like. So this guy's flushed out with a 2x4 wall on the inside. You can see this here. And see how much light we've got showing around here? So it's really hard to air seal these. Now we are in a garage in this particular location, but my biggest issue with these recessed tankless is right here. Look, we've got all our supply pipes coming in here. We've got a gas line. Looks like we've got water supply here, and then hot is coming out. How would you ever both air seal this, but how do you keep the water out too? And you've got a recessed tankless like this. We just have a 1 or 2 foot overhang on the outside. There's gonna be water inside this unit, and then it's gonna leak down into here, which means that 10 years, 15 years from now, this whole cavity is gonna be a mess. There's either gonna be mold growth in here, there's gonna be rot. I just don't like them. It's not a good idea. We should either mount this tankless in the garage and then vent pipe it through the roof or a direct vent out, or we should mount it on the outside of the cladding and let it show. These recessed boxes, dumb product, not a fan. Number 4 on my list, paper-based flashings. Look at this. You see this detail all over Texas where the framers put this on before they put the sheathing on the outside of the wall. The idea is this is meant to protect water from coming up underneath this bottom plate, but what it's not doing is it's not protecting this sensitive edge at the bottom of the sheathing. Now, Huber Zip, great product, but on this cut edge, we need to protect that from moisture. Come on around here and I'm gonna show you what's happening. So here's our brick ledge right here, and this paper-based flashing, this is gonna degrade within a really short period of time. I remodeled a house just a couple years ago that was maybe 6, 7 years old, and this was absolutely mush. You could pull it apart after just a couple of short years. So this is, number one, not gonna protect the water from coming back underneath that bottom plate, but it's also not gonna protect this cut edge on our OSB sheathing right here. That's not good. We want to protect that sheathing. The way to do this correctly is to use a flashing that's gonna come down here and come onto the brick ledge. I made another video on this a while back on how to do this correctly with some Pro2Go products and protect this bottom edge. I'll put a link in the description to do this right, but paper-based flashing, dumb product. And last but not least, number 5, direct vent gas fireplaces. This is a dumb building product. We should stop using these. These cheap metal boxes with these cheesy log sets, you're not fooling anybody. No one thinks this is a real fire in your house. But here's the real problem I have with these. See how this flue right here goes through the sidewall? This is a direct vent unit. These flues have 2 big problems. Number 1, it's a huge hole in your thermal envelope. See how you have no insulation around that? That flue gets really hot because we've got those hot gases going through there, so we can't let anything touch it. No combustibles can be around there. Number 2, it's also a huge air leak in most installations I've seen. See where we've got that collar right there around that flue coming through? We can't seal that collar. We can't use spray foam in there. We can't use a caulking because it needs to be able to be combustion ready, and we don't want it getting super hot. As a result, you basically have a giant air leak every time you put one of these in the house. Air leak means energy loss. It also means anytime air can get in, that also could be a source for bugs to get in your house. This is as if we have a window that's cracked in our house that we can never close for the life of the building. We don't want one of these guys. Do not use a direct vent gas fireplace. And while we're on the topic, don't put a ventless fireplace either in. That is a huge no-no. Guys, hope you join me on this tour of 5 dumb building products. If you're new to our channel, we publish every Tuesday and every Friday, so hit that subscribe button below. Otherwise, follow me on Twitter or Instagram. We'll see you next time on The Build Show.